already know, Chinese is one of the hardest languages to learn for most of us in this world. And it is definitely harder to learn than Japanese. But why is it? What is that these two languages have in common, and what are their differences? In this video, I am going to answer to these two questions, as I have already mastered Chinese and I have a basic knowledge of Japanese. So, without further ado, let's get started! Okay, the first difference that comes to my mind is that when you speak Chinese, you don't have politeness level. And this is a really good thing because it makes communication more relaxed. So basically you talk to a stranger like you talk to a friend. You don't need to change the words like you do in Japanese, because in Japanese politeness level do exist. The second difference is that in Chinese words do not change their forms grammatically speaking. So basically, in Japanese, like in Italian, like in English, you have the present, the past, the future, like the verbs change their forms, but this does not happen in Chinese. And this makes learning Chinese easier. So, if the form of the verbs does not change, how do you know if the person that is talking to you is talking about something that has happened in the past, or if she is talking about something that will happen in the future? Because in Chinese we have some extra words that we add to the verb for conveying this meaning that that thing has happened in the past. So Chinese is an analytical language, which means it does not use inflections. Verbs, gender, case, they do not need to be modified. For example, 学生. 学生 means student. In Italian, we have studentessa and studente. Studentessa is the feminine form. Studente is the masculine form. So as you can see, you have two words for indicating the same thing, while in Chinese you only have 学生. It can be both a female or a male. Before continuing with today's video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and to give to this video a big thumbs up, as I will be continuing posting, releasing videos on my language learning journey, on Japanese, on Chinese, on my life in China. So yes, make sure to subscribe, and now let's continue with the video. The third difference is that Japanese has an easier pronunciation. So basically when you go and study Chinese, you need to learn a lot of sounds like 支持师, 机器西, that are like different from the sounds that we have in English or in other languages. While in Japanese it's different because the sounds are pretty much similar to the sounds that we have in English. The fourth difference is that in Japanese we do not have any tones, while in Chinese we do have tones. We have 4 tones, plus sometimes you will encounter some words without any tones, so like it's basically like 5 tones. So different tones means different meanings. So for example, if you say ma and then you say ma, these are 2 different words. Ma means mom, ma means horse. So you can see that if you do not learn the tones in Chinese, Chinese people could understand something different from what you are saying. Okay, the fifth difference is that in Japanese we have a lot of loan words, which means, for example, ice cream in Japanese is ice cream. Apartment is apato. So you can see, like, it is pretty much easy to learn these loan words that come from English, while in Chinese, yes, maybe we have some loan words, but they are not a lot. Another difference between these two languages is the writing system. So basically in Chinese we have Hanzi, which are characters that I will put here somewhere, and in Japanese we have three writing systems: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So kanji are the characters that come from Chinese. So basically, if you have already learned Chinese, it will be easier for you to learn Japanese, and this is why also it is one of the reasons why I am learning Japanese, because I have already mastered Chinese. Although Japanese has taken kanji from Chinese, it has still modified the pronunciation of this kanji. So, for example, 学校, 学校 means school. In Japanese, you will write it the same, but the pronunciation is different, which is 学校. Another example is 日本. 日本 in Chinese means Japan. In Japanese, you will write it the same, but the pronunciation is Nihon. Another word is 今年. 今年 in Chinese means this year. In Japanese, it is the same, but it is pronounced kotoshi. So as you can see, all of these words are written the same, have the same meaning, but they have different pronunciation. So this means that even if, like for example, you speak Chinese, even if this facilitates a little bit the process of learning Japanese, still you need to learn something like the pronunciation of these kanjis. Okay, the next point is something that makes Chinese easier than Japanese, which is the word order. So the word order in Chinese is like similar to English. So we have SVO, which means subject, verb, and object. This is the word order. While in Japanese we have SOV, which means subject, object, and verb. So basically you need to get used, if you want to learn Japanese, to this new word order where the verb is at the end of the sentence. Okay, now I will give you an example. I like China. So I is the subject, like in English of course is the verb, and China is the object. In Chinese is the same. 我喜欢中国. 我 is the subject, 喜欢 is the verb, 中国 is the object. If we need to say this in Japanese is 私は中国が好きです. So 私は is I, 中国 is China, が好きです. 好きです is the verb. So like this you can understand how different is the word order. And this, as I said before, makes Chinese easier. So to summarize, if you enjoy the process of studying grammar, then you should definitely go for Japanese. While if you want something a little bit, easier, like for the grammar, then go for Chinese. But remember that the characters are pretty much tough to, to memorize. But nothing is impossible. In fact, I mastered Chinese in 8 months. And here I will leave you my video where I explain my experience with Chinese from 0 to HSK 5, which means to advanced. Okay, for today's video is all. Bye!